This happened 1 month ago, but I've only managed to be fine now. My husband didn't have a good relationship with the family because he married a man. He came from a wealthy family, and the house we lived in was a gift from his parents before he came out. We dated for 3 years until he discovered he was terminally ill, so we married because it was our dream. It was something very rushed yet beautiful, and we even tried to invite his parents. The answer was no. He knew the nature of his parents and asked me to make it a specific type of civil marriage so I'd be entitled to everything he had before and after the wedding. If it was the other way, the parents would be entitled to things in his name acquired before the marriage. This is protected by law. The party was wonderful with our closest friends. My sweet husband survived for 9 months and finally had his well-deserved rest. I was numb. Despite having prepared for months for this moment, I couldn't even stay in the house, so my mother took me to sleep at her house for a few days. I got a notification from the home security system 6 days after his passing, and I went to see the cameras. My husband's entire family was there with a big truck, ready to move our stuff. His sister, he trusted, had a spare key because she took care of our animals when we were traveling, and they used it. So I went there, and I admit that I blew up, cursed even the 10th generation of the family, and even more so to my sister-in-law. They started to say that they were entitled to everything because the house and furniture were all acquired before the marriage, and that I shouldn't act surprised if, by law, they can take it all, and until court, they would keep it, so I don't sell anything. I cursed even more and said they had no right because my husband knew how they were very well and assured me that everything went to me. I talked about the civil marriage type. They were surprised and started to say that this was incorrect because at least the house was theirs as it was given as a gift. But they left after I said I would call the police if they didn't leave and kept harassing me about the matter. I had to swap numbers because I had several numbers saying I was an opportunistic gold digger and should be aware that this house truly didn't belong to me. I know I'm protected by law, but sometimes I wonder if I just shouldn't give up my house for peace. Am I the idiot? Edit, the house is in his name. Not the idiot. These people are despicable. I'm so sorry for your loss. Your husband protected you and expressed his wishes for his property. His family's not owed anything, including basic respect, after how they behaved. You should take care of yourself now. Grief is a long journey. Forget them. They're not worth a second thought. I wonder if I shouldn't give up my house for peace. Peace with whom? The parents who couldn't be bothered to go to their own son's wedding? Or the sister-in-law who, unannounced, shows up at your house that your husband legally left you 6 days after he passed away with others to loot your place? Jesus, there will never be peace here. So I see no reason for you to give up your house. Do get a good attorney, though. Agree. Don't you dare give anything to those leeches. The only thing that would come out of it is you would hurt yourself. You should have immediately called the cops for theft and trespassing if you know the law's on your side. Never let them hold on to something for safekeeping either. You probably don't have an itemized list of everything in the house, so how would you even know if nothing was stolen? Even if you are wrong, and you're not, but if, anyway, the family doesn't get to show up and start taking things. If there was a will, then it's the executor's job to dole out things according to the will after properly doing the legal paperwork. No matter what, no one's legally allowed to touch or take anything until the will is read. In fact, a complete account of everything is needed before anything goes to anybody. You should have called the police as soon as the alarm went off. They're acting this way because they're homophobic. Do not give these people even an ounce of your time. Block them and continue handling your grief. Your husband wanted you to have it, and it's legally yours. That's all that matters. If they harass you, get restraining orders on them, then change the locks and file a police report. My 43 female, mom 67, Kathy, has a friend, no idea but older than dirt, Denise. I'm currently working 2 hours away from my home office and staying in a 3-bedroom apartment paid for by my employer. The apartment is 1 hour from my mom's place and somewhere she visits frequently. My job is very stressful with long hours, so needless to say, when I get home, I want to chill out. My mom asked if she could stay for one night. I of course said yes, as I love spending time with her, but she didn't tell me that she was bringing Denise, who I can't stand. They have now stayed 3 nights. They rocked up. Denise turned on the TV and said she had to watch a TV show she couldn't miss. There was a TV in her room, but she wanted to watch it in the lounge on the big TV. My mom said I should watch TV in my room. Denise has taken over my apartment. I can't do what I want to do, and I feel uncomfortable and can't relax. Denise is not paying for any meals as my mom invited her on her holiday. Denise has used my ensuite bathroom and left a mess, which I needed to clean. Tonight my mom said that they would come back next week as she wants more time on her holiday, and her friend agreed. I lost my temper and said that this is not your holiday and you're not welcome back. I told them I didn't want Denise here and she was mooching off of my mom and me. My mom is now upset and is calling me ungrateful and rude. I don't think I'm the idiot, but did I go too far? Not the idiot. OMG, they invaded your home, made a mess for you to clean, and act entitled to use your place as a vacation home when you're trying to work. What are they expecting you to be grateful for? For keeping me company. My mom struggles to be alone at night and expects everyone else to be the same. I love being alone. My entire day is talking, so it's a break. Your mom and her friend are totally out of touch with reality. You're in an apartment paid for by your employer for work. Your mom asks to come and visit for one night, then shows up with someone else who you can't stand and who immediately takes over your apartment as if it was hers. Set a firm boundary with your mom. She is welcome to visit for agreed on lengths of time, but is to bring no one else with her without your express approval. I wouldn't even let mom visit again after this, honestly. Kick them both out immediately. Change the locks if you have to. It's hysterical that your mom thinks you are the ungrateful one. You're too old to be letting your mom dictate your life. Tell them they have to leave today. I, 35 male, have a daughter, tween, with my ex-wife, Carrie, 36. Carrie and I met senior year of high school, dated throughout college, and had our daughter whenever she was in law school. Initially, it was great, but after Carrie joined her firm, everything went to crap. I accepted that her job would require long hours, but it got worse, and I was doing almost all the baby. She would just come home late, eat, watch TV, and go to bed, would show me no affection most nights. I felt like a live-in nanny, and I was working full-time too. I tried communicating, only to get lawyer talk back. All we would talk about was her work and the baby, nothing about us or my job or life. I filed for divorce 4 years ago. Carrie went off about it whenever I informed her. She wanted to try therapy, something I had suggested for years. In my opinion, she was most upset about losing her childcare arrangement and personal chef. Carrie has become the woman empowerment type in the last few years. She wants our daughter to be independent and successful, which I'm fine with, obviously, but she's gone too far. She's got that short haircut and all the t-shirt slogans now. She's active on social media about causes. Good for her for finding a hobby, but I don't want that for my daughter. I don't bring that crap into my house. I raise my daughter to be whoever she wants. She can respect men and be independent. She can become a successful businesswoman or a wife and mother. She's just too young to be putting all this pressure on her. I've been dating Lainey, 28 female, for 2.5 years. She and my daughter are very close. Lainey is more of the conservative home builder type. Lainey has a couple of tattoos and wants to get one of me, my daughter, and her on her arm sleeve. We're talking about marriage. She's free to do whatever she wants with her body. I asked my daughter if she was okay with it, and she loved the idea. She and Lainey are working on the design together, and it's bonding them more. I love it personally. My ex-wife found out and scolded me. She had an issue with how I'm raising my daughter and how my girlfriend is promoting tattoos. She also said that I don't care about my daughter because I don't help her study, which I told her wasn't true. We do the homework quickly so we can hang out and actually enjoy life, not shove our faces in books. Her grades are still great, just not all A's, so yes, education's important, but so is family. I told Carrie she's free to raise our daughter however she wants to at her place, but our house is about being a family and not being a cold robot. So maybe she should look in the mirror and ask why her daughter likes her stepmom so much. I'm not going to turn our daughter cold, and Lainey can get whatever tattoos she wants. She called me an idiot and threatened to contact my attorney. I laughed and hung up. Am I the idiot? I feel like there's a lot missing from this post. However, just based on your description of your ex alone, it makes me feel like there's more to this story. Also, it's very off-putting that your girlfriend wants to put a picture of you and your daughter's faces on her body. And if I were your wife, I would be concerned too. I also find it hilarious that the daughter is too young for women's empowerment, but is somehow mature enough to consent to have her likeness permanently tattooed on someone's body. If she's too immature to be exposed to feminism in OP's mind, how is she mature enough to understand what she's consenting to? You are the idiot, especially if you talk about your daughter's mother like this where she can hear it. You say you're raising her to be whoever she wants, but your descriptions here are extremely far from value neutral. Putting effort into schoolwork isn't living like a robot. It's important. You aren't doing your daughter any favors. Right? I mean, the short haircut and not bring that crap into the house? So condescending. If he patted himself on the back any harder, he'd break his arm. I hope he doesn't share the idiot attitude he has toward his ex with his daughter. Everyone's the idiot here. You and your ex-wife are a hot mess, and your kid will suffer. Get it together. The opinions you express about women and their roles are concerning, and even as a stranger, I'm worried about the long-term safety of your daughter. Your new partner's planning to get a tattoo of your face makes me question her judgment and the health of your relationship. Be real. How comfortable would you be if your wife's new partner, who they aren't even engaged to, much less married, got a tattoo of your daughter's face on his shoulder? I regularly cook meals for them so they have enough to eat for the work and school week. I'm no chef, but I can cook basic meals like chicken, pork, steak, mac and cheese, lasagna, etc. I recently learned how to make Chinese food, Italian food, and Korean cuisine. My hubby is Italian, so I wanted to try to give him something reminiscent of his culture. There are times, however, that despite all the food in the house and having finished grocery shopping and cooking a hefty dinner the night before, they complain that there's nothing to eat. There were moments when, despite having food in the house, they would order McDonald's from Uber under my nose. For those who assume my cooking's bad, I always ask for feedback after each meal. I, for the most part, get good feedback, and I take it into account to improve. I really try to meet everyone's needs, but it's hard sometimes. I just got finished grocery shopping, so there's plenty to eat in the house. I cooked about a dozen or so ribeye steaks with sweet potatoes, macaroni and cheese, cauliflower au gratin, and a salad. My fridge is almost packed with dinner for the week, as well as staples for cereal, boxed dinners, and sandwiches we can make ourselves. My son was looking around, rummaging through the kitchen like he was scavenging for buried treasure, complaining that he was hungry and couldn't find anything to eat. I told him there was still food in the fridge that he could eat. I told him he could make a sandwich. He then told me he didn't want any and wanted McDonald's. I told him that if he doesn't want the food we have in the house, then he's not really hungry. I said the same thing to my husband right after they ordered fast food again. He said that my food was great, but sometimes he just feels like ordering McDonald's, and sometimes he doesn't want to eat the same thing every day. We had to fight about it, and I told him that I felt hurt and that hearing our son doing this makes me feel like I'm not doing a good job. And if they were really hungry, they could eat what's in the house. He tells me I'm being ridiculous. I really want to be a good wife and mom and give them a life that I wish I had. I grew up in a struggling family with almost nothing to eat, and now I'm in a position where no one has to worry about it. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You don't cook 12 steaks for 3 people and expect them to eat that for the rest of the week. If you buy in bulk, you make 4 packages of 3 steaks each. You cook 1 meal now and freeze the rest so you can have another steak dinner in a week or 2. I grew up impoverished, and I love filet mignon now that I can afford it once in a while, but even I wouldn't cook myself 4 fillets and eat them all week. It sounds like ordering fast food a couple of times a week is not a financial hardship for your family. It additionally sounds like you're cooking in bulk and expecting your family to eat the same thing for multiple meals, And finally, nowhere do you indicate that your husband has asked you to take on that burden, or that he would be upset if you cooked less frequently. Stop cooking in such a large volume and plan for a couple of days of takeout. If you want to go above and beyond for your family, listen to what they actually want, not just what you think they should want. Not the idiot OP. He's an idiot for complaining and letting your son complain, rather than expressing appreciation and not saying that he sometimes wants McDonald's. Hand each of them a pot and a recipe book and tell them to plan and prepare dinners for a couple of weeks. They may gain a better appreciation of your efforts. Better yet, maybe they'll learn to cook. So my stepmother has this tradition her family does regarding weddings where all the sisters wear the same piece from a family member's wedding outfit. Typically, it's something from your mother or grandmother's wedding. My stepmother and all her sisters wear their mother's veil. Stepmother's nieces by her older sister all wear their mother's wedding pearls. You get the picture. I'm engaged, and my stepmother sat me, my stepsister, and my half-sister down to discuss what our item would be. I told her I was planning to wear something of my mom's, which would be all the extras I would wear. She told me it was an important tradition to continue. I told her it was very nice of her to think of me, but it wasn't my tradition. She then said the simple answer would be to let them wear the necklace when their wedding days come around. They thought that was a great idea and said that if it was the piece they thought it was the most beautiful thing ever and they'd love to wear it. I said that wasn't going to happen and that it was a piece of my mom I could have during my wedding since I couldn't have her. My not wanting to do this tradition has caused some arguing. My step and half-sister were upset I wouldn't do it with them. My stepmother's upset that I don't want to embrace a tradition from her family. The tradition has no interest to me at all, and I would never share something of my mom's with my half or stepsister. My dad tried to talk me into it. He told me it would mean so much, and that didn't I want to finally feel like they were my mom and sisters, instead of having step and half in front of their titles? I told him no, that I have a mom, and her being dead doesn't change that, or mean that I need to see someone else as my mom too. My stepmother told me she's always tried to make me a genuine part of her family, a true daughter, and I'm an idiot for rejecting that as an adult when it doesn't just hurt her, but my sisters as well. Am I the idiot for not wanting to do this? Not the idiot, definitely. They can keep their traditions. It's lovely that you want to have a connection with your mom. Have the wedding you want and can afford. Never let anyone sit you down to discuss anything. Allowing someone to sit you down is giving them authority and power over you that they don't have. You may agree to discuss something with them, but on equal terms. The necklace is from your birth mother. If I read this right, your stepmother wants you to share the necklace from your birth mother. I'm sorry, but the second wife and her child want to wear your dead mom's jewelry? I wouldn't let the others wear it. Your half-siblings don't know her. The tradition sounds nice, but in this situation, it should be something from the stepmother, meaning the stepmother should give something of hers to the kids. Firmly tell them all that you don't plan to participate in the tradition, and that's final. Ignore their complaints. Anytime they bring it up, say you've made your decision and change the subject. I bet they want it because it's the most beautiful piece ever. This has been stepmom's endgame all along.